Hello everyone. Previous video we have learned about autoimmunity, then immunization, vaccination. We have also learned about allergies, different kind of allergies, how they are happening to our body, what different causes are there. Then we have also learned about immune system of our body, that is lymphatic system. The role and structure of lymphatic organs we have learned, so that we understood the importance of lymphatic organs in our body. Now, today we are going to learn some serious diseases. In that, one is AIDS and one is cancer. Why I am saying serious diseases? Because once they are happening to our body, they are difficult to cure and they are long lasting. So, because of that, they are very serious and we have to take more care to avoid happening such diseases to us. If there are some precautions we follow, we will not suffer those diseases, and if we will ignore, we may get the infection or the cause of that disease, and thereafter throughout the life we have to suffer. So today we are going to learn in this video about AIDS, its causative agent, how it is caused to the person, how it is diagnosed, how the symptoms are developing, and what kind of treatment is available. Then we are also going to learn about cancer. Similar way, the causative agents of the cancer, how we get the infection of cancer, and what kind of symptoms are developed, what different types of cancers are there, and what are the precautions that we can take to avoid the disease. So first we will start with AIDS. The long form of AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So meaning of the all words is itself the seriousness of the disease. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. The immunodeficiency syndrome means symptoms, the bunch of symptoms in which the body is completely losing with the immune power. So immunodeficiency is the kind of state of the person if they get AIDS. So it is a kind of disease which is giving an infection to the body so severe that this body is unable to give fight against the pathogen or becomes completely weak with the immunity. So this disease or syndrome acquires during the lifetime of the individual, indicating that it is not congenital disease. Congenital disease means it is not curable. First reported in 1981, the first case of this disease in the world was reported in 1981, and last 25 years and more, if we see, the persons were killed with the AIDS are 25 million all over the world. So you can imagine the seriousness of this disease. The basic thing is, no one get realized or will understand that they are suffering or they are having the infection of AIDS. And even if they are knowing, they are having the knowledge of having AIDS, they will be not telling it, or they will be not sharing it with anybody, and because of the carelessness of the person will be making more people to suffer with the disease. So this is what a kind of reason because of which we find such a huge number of people in the world dying within 25 years after the first case of the disease diagnosed. Causative organism, the human immunodeficiency virus, that is HIV virus, in short it is called HIV virus, is one of the retrovirus which is causative agent of the AIDS. That is, retrovirus means it has genetic material as RNA, having RNA genome enclosed by protein code. The Structurally, if you will see the HIV virus, you will get an idea that it is a simple, a kind of genome with made up of reverse transcriptase enzyme and RNA strands. Then the surrounded RNA genetic material with a protein coat is the structure of HIV virus. This HIV virus is a kind of retrovirus which is having capacity to multiply very fast, and it is one of the virus which is causing infection to cause the AIDS. Basically, there is a kind of misunderstanding that a person is having infection of HIV has AIDS. AIDS is a state which is getting developed after the infection of HIV, after then around 5 to 10 years. So once the person is having infection of HIV, after that, after 5 to 10 years, he will start developing AIDS. But once the infection of HIV is happened to the person, we can't say the person is having AIDS, because AIDS is the state of the person in which the person has totally lost with the immunity. And when the HIV infection happens to the body, immediately the HIV virus is unable to make a weak immunity of our body. It will be a slowly kind of a slow process which will take place slowly in the body and which will cause the person AIDS. Mode of transmission of HIV infection. First, sexual contact with the infected person. If any person is having HIV infection or AIDS, and if it is not known, then the another person has the sexual contact with that person, has most probably kind of transmission of AIDS or HIV infection from infected to the healthy person by transfusion of contaminated blood and blood products. It is also one of the serious route through which the transmission takes place. If blood banks which are collecting blood through the donation campaigns, that time if they don't check the blood is safe, or if the blood is not screened for presence of HIV virus, then the transfusion of that infected blood will cause the healthy person AIDS or HIV infection, because it is mostly seen that the transfusion of blood is the case when the accidental cases are there or blood loss is happening to the person, then person is hospitalized and transfusion of blood will be done. But during when this transfusion of blood is there, before that if there is no screening of the blood for presence of HIV virus will be there, then it will be a kind of possible way for that person to get the infection of HIV virus if the blood which is being transfused in their body, if it has HIV virus. By sharing infected needles, as in the case of intravenous drug abuse. Those who are addicted to the drugs or they are abusing drug, that time they are injecting the syringes, the injections are filled with the drugs and injecting the syringes into the intravenous, means inside the veins directly. So during this transfusion or injection, if a person is infected with HIV infection, he uses that syringe, and the person who is healthy, if immediately after that he will make use of the same syringe for the injection of drug into their vein, into his vein, then the healthy person will definitely get the infection of HIV, because the transfusion is intravenous, means directly into the blood. So syringe enters into the blood of the infected person, and the chances of getting in contact with the healthy person's blood is again the same procedure of injecting the drug into intravenous position. From infected mother to her child through placenta. If the mother is having HIV when she is pregnant, that time through the placenta she is providing oxygen and important nutrient to the baby to develop. If and because of this placenta, the mother's blood comes in contact with the fetus blood for the exchange of gases, and nutrition. So at that time, the blood cell which are already infected with HIV infection may get transfused into the fetal body, and the fetus will also get the infection of HIV virus. The individuals with multiple sexual partners has the maximum possibility to get the infection of HIV. Then drug addicts, they are also having maximum chances of getting infection of HIV because they are taking the drugs intravenously. Individuals who require repeated blood transfusion and child born to the HIV infected mother having high chances of getting AIDS or developing AIDS. Causes of HIV infection: body fluids only, not by touch or physical contact. So if the HIV infected person's blood or any kind of body fluid will come in contact with the healthy person's body fluid, then the chances of transmission of HIV infection is there. Otherwise, if we touch the AIDS person, physical touch will not have any kind of impact of transmission of HIV infection. Only we have to avoid the contact, body fluid contact with the person or with such person. It takes few months to few years to develop AIDS after the infection of HIV. Around 5 to 10 years, we will start observing the symptoms. After infection, 5 to 10 years later, the symptoms will be developing between the infection and the appearance of the AIDS symptoms. Now, mechanism of action and replication of HIV. How the HIV work and causes infection to the body of the person. HIV is a RNA virus who is having the protein coat inside which the genetic material is RNA. Its structure includes identical RNA strands, reverse transcriptase enzyme, which is enclosed in protein coat. So along with the RNA strand, reverse transcriptase enzyme, both are enclosed into a protein coat. Target of the HIV is macrophages and helper T lymphocyte cells. So these are our immune cells, which is the first target of this HIV virus. HIV first bind to the receptor on host macrophage where the fusion of HIV takes place. So first they get bind to the macrophages. HIV RNA or viral RNA is released into the cytoplasm, which undergoes reverse transcription process because reverse transcriptase enzyme the virus is having. So with the help of that enzyme, the virus will start showing the reverse transcription process. The HIV will, this reverse transcription process is what? This is the process in which the RNA of HIV virus will start synthesizing DNA by getting knowledge of the DNA of the human cell, and will start synthesizing same kind of protein which the human cell synthesizes. So by getting a genetic coding idea from the cell, they also convert their RNA into the viral DNA, which is nothing but the as exact copy of our DNA, and will start making the proteins there only. And once their protein will be synthesized, they will be releasing it into the cytoplasm of the cell, and thereafter the proteins of the virus will be getting mixed with the cytoplasm and the infection grows. Viral DNA enters host nucleus. So once the DNA is synthesized, it will by the virus, that viral DNA will enter into the nucleus of the human cell with the host DNA, and the transcription will it will start transcription after entering into the nucleus. New viral RNA forms viral genome and some translates in cytoplasm to new viral protein. Viral proteins and RNA moves to surface of the cell and bursts off as new HIV. So the infection will proceed. They targets helper T lymphocyte, replicates and produce progeny. Virus reduces helper T lymphocytes. So when it will start making its own protein and mixing it with the cytoplasm, will start causing the infection or increasing the infection, and simultaneously it will attack on T lymphocyte cell. As we have seen, the role of T lymphocyte cell is very important in showing the immunity. So if they target T lymphocyte cell, ultimately our immune system or immunity becomes weaker. So in this picture form, you will get a step-by-step idea of the infection of HIV. The fusion of HIV to the host cell surface initially, thereafter it will be showing the second step. The HIV RNA reverse transcriptase integrates and other viral proteins enter the host cell. Thereafter the viral DNA is formed by the reverse transcriptase enzyme. Then viral DNA is transported across the nucleus and integrates into the host DNA. Thereafter, new viral RNA is used as genomic RNA protein, and then new viral RNA, the next step, new viral RNA and proteins move to the cell surface and a new immature HIV forms. Then it will become mature. The virus matures by protease releasing individual HIV protein, and the mature virus, or it is called mature virion, will be ready to start causing infection. You can see in the picture at the certain different places the infection will be spread out. The symptoms: HIV attacks helper T lymphocytes, reduction of helper T lymphocyte, which causes severe cellular immunodeficiency. So if the T lymphocytes will be made target, their population or number will be reduced, will be responsible for showing cellular immunodeficiency. Cellular immunodeficiency means cells will be unable to fight against pathogen. Bouts of the fever, diarrhea and weight loss. These are the initial symptoms. The person will start showing fever, diarrhea and weight loss continuously. Highly susceptible to mycobacterium, viruses, fungi, parasites like toxoplasma and so many different kind of microorganisms infection, because the HIV virus first make that the target of immune system and make the immune system weak. Once the immune system is made weak, then any kind of microorganism, because already we are surrounded with number of microorganism, but every time their entry does not make us falling sick, because we have immune system in our body which keeps on fighting and avoiding the infection of microorganism. But if our immunity is made weak and if any microorganism enters into the body, he will be successful for causing the disease, because to fight against the infection of that microorganism, we don't have any fighting cells or immune system, and so we are falling sick with number of kind of disease once our immunity is weak. Infected person becomes opportunistic to infections. Opportunistic means to any kind of microorganisms opportunity they are getting or falling sick. Diagnosis and treatment. To diagnose the HIV or the infection of HIV and AIDS, the test ELISA test is available, that is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. In this certain enzymes will be making use of certain enzymes which will be finding the cells of the person, blood cells of the person having infection of HIV or not. Treatment of HIV with antiretroviral drugs is partially effective, because till now only antiretroviral drugs treatment is available, and which is only suppressing, or it is a kind of temporary treatment. A drug can only prolong the life of the person or the patient, but cannot prevent the death, which is unevitable. That means it is fixed. That person suffers or gets the infection of HIV will have death with the HIV infection and AIDS. What have you heard about AIDS? What can we do for the people who have the AIDS? Can it be cured? What does it mean? How does it harm us? Who can get it? What does it look like? What causes it? How can we stop it? Which of us has it? So don't guess the answers. The answers guessing is not possible for so many questions which are there in different person's mind, because learn the truth and act accordingly is only the solution. Because many of us are having many doubt, like it may be spreading by physical contact. If we sit with the person who has it, we will also get, or so many kind of rumors are there. So don't go behind the rumors, go into the detail and find out the detail of the causing and the ways through which the AIDS infection is possibly happening. Avoid or prevention is only a kind of solution on the AIDS. Whatever routes are there through which the infection can be spread, we have to avoid that, all the routes, so that we will not get the infection of HIV. So being safe is only the solution, preventing all the paths through which the infection is possible. Prevention of AIDS, educating people to generate awareness among them. National AIDS Control Organization (NACO) is working on it to create the awareness among the people, and other non-governmental organizations, NGOs, are also working on creating awareness about the AIDS and how the AIDS is getting spread. WHO has started a number of programs to prevent the spreading of HIV infection, which includes making blood from blood banks safe from HIV, ensuring the use of only disposable needles and syringes in the public and private hospitals and clinics, free distribution of condoms. So these are the different provisions which are made by the WHO, World Health Organization, to avoid the infection of HIV infection or HIV virus. Controlling drug abuse, this is also one of the method used or produced by WHO. Advocating safe sex and promoting regular checkups for HIV and susceptible populations, so that the HIV infection will be avoided. Infection with HIV or having AIDS is something that should not be hidden, because the only thing because of which the AIDS and HIV infection spread is the people are hiding. They don't open that they are suffering or suffering from HIV infection or AIDS. Since then, the infection may spread to many more people. Because of hiding habit, the people, more infection will be spread towards more people. The next disease, cancer. The cancer, also known as malignant tumor, is a group of diseases involving abnormal cell growth with a potential to invade or spread to the other parts of the body. So cancer is one of the kind of disease in which the abnormal growth starts in particular part of the body, Once it is started in particular part, it will keep spreading from that part to the rest other part and as much as possible, and once it keep on spreading, it will be later converting or causing into cancer. Considered as one major cause of death all over the world, this is also one of the major cause of yearly death rate of worldwide. Due to this severity process of oncogenic transformation of cells, its treatment and control requires most intense area of research in biology and medicine. Cancer can be induced by external factors, and those external factors through which the cancer is possible are called carcinogens. The most common cancers worldwide observed are shown on the slide. In men and women, it is differently seen. The examples of cancers, like in men, esophagus, lung, stomach, liver, prostate, and colorectal cancer are mostly common, whereas the women are suffering from breast cancer, lung cancer, stomach cancer, cervical cancer, and colorectal cancer as well. The death rate also you can see below there. It is the survey of the deaths in 2007, where the lung cancer, with the lung cancer maximum deaths are seen. Stomach cancer, the little low range, then the lung cancer, then colon, then liver, and then breast. Causes of cancer. Normal cells transformed into the cancerous neoplastic cells by physical, chemical, and biological agents. These are the reasons through which the normal cell turns up into the cancer cell, and once a cancer cell is developed into the body, it will start making many more cancerous cells. These agents are called carcinogens. The external agent who is causing the normal cell to become cancerous cell are called carcinogens. Physical agents. In carcinogens, there are different types, like some are physical agents, some are chemical agents, and some are biological agents which are causing cancer. First, physical agents, in that ionizing radiations like X-ray, gamma rays, non-ionizing radiations like UV rays, these are the rays with which if the person gets continuous exposed, then person's body internally will start developing the cancerous cells. Second is chemical agents, that is tobacco smoke, sodium azide, methylethane, sulfonate. These are some chemicals with which if the person is continuously exposed or body of the person is getting exposed, then the person will definitely get the cancerous cell development in the body. Next is biological agents. The cancer causing viruses called oncogenic viruses have a gene called viral oncogenes induce transformation of neoplastic cells, normal cell into the neoplastic cell, that means cancerous cell, they will start inducing. So some viruses are there which are causing cancer. Then second is cellular oncogenes, c-onc it is called, or proto-oncogenes also. In normal cell, when activated, lead to oncogenic transformation of the normal cell. This is one of the other way through which the biological agents are causing cancer development. Mechanism of transformation of cancerous cell. How the cells are transformed into normal cell are transformed into the cancerous cell. The cell growth and differentiation is highly controlled and regulated, which is lacked in the cancerous cell. So whenever a cell gives rise to or divides and form new cell, or thereafter again new cell, this division and formation is done in a proper way. Plus the cell differentiation means the cell gets a kind of role or getting a kind of permanent tissue role. This is the kind of process which is called cell differentiation. So each cell of the body has a specific role and specific distribution of the genetic material when they divide, and differentiation process also. But in cancerous cell, the cell division, growth and differentiation is not normal. It is not controlled and regulated That is why they are called as cancerous cell. Normal cells show a potency, contact inhibition, which is inhibits uncontrolled growth. Normal cell inhibit the uncontrolled growth. They are having the controlled growth, whereas the cancer cell does not have any controlled growth. Cell division keeps on happening. It's not in their hand to stop it. Cancer cells appears to have lost this property. As a result of this, cancerous cells just continue to divide, giving rise to the masses of cells like tumors. So masses of cells which are continuously divided and not controlled, divided and differentiated, such kind of masses are later called tumors and which will be developed. So there will be the transformation of normal cell into the cancerous cell. So this is the normal cell where the cell move, cell proliferate properly. So you will find the proper distribution of the cell, whereas the cancer cell, transformed cell, will be differentiating cell movement, cell proliferation and disrupted cell adhesion, loss of contact inhibition. These are the things which you can observe or you could observe on the slide, through which you will get an idea about the cancerous cell, behavior of the cancerous cell and the normal cell of the body. Here on the next slide, the normal and cancerous cell structural difference you will understand in the first diagram, the normal cell and the cancer cell. Structurally you can get an idea. The difference what you are observing, that is large cytoplasm is seen in normal cell, where cancer cell has small cytoplasm. Then single nucleus is seen in the normal cell, cancer cell has multiple nuclei. Then single nucleolus is also seen in the normal cell. Here multiple and large nucleolus is observed in cancerous cell. Then fine chromatin, which is coarse chromatin, present in the cancer cell. How the cancer cell is forming tumor, that also you can observe in this slide, that cancer cells dividing, the blue, all the cancer cells are there and normal cells next to it on the both sides. So normal cells are also getting infection if in their nearby any cancer cells are dividing and producing. Now types of tumors. There are two types of tumor. One is benign tumor, one is malignant tumor. First, benign tumor. The tumor normally remain confined to their original location. Means they don't change their location, they remain confined, fixed to the original location. Where they occur, they will remain there only and keep on increasing the size, being at the same place. Do not spread to other location and cause little damage, because in the same place if they keep on increasing in the size, the abnormal increase in the size will be noticed externally also, and by removing that particular mass and checkup of that mass will give the idea of the cancer immediately. This is what the benign tumor. The second case is malignant tumor. Mass of the proliferating cell called neoplastic or tumor cell. This cell grow very rapidly. Their multiplication rate is also high and they keep spreading all over the body and maximum place of the body. Invade and damage surrounding tissue also. These cells actively divides and grow. They also starve the normal cell, and cancerous cells escape from the site of origin and move to the distant places by blood. Wherever they get locked, make the normal cell cancerous. This property is called metastasis. So they have ability to transform from one place to another place through blood, and wherever they go or they get locked, means stuck, they will start causing cancerous cell or converting normal cell into the cancer cell. This kind of characteristic is called metastasis. That means wherever they go, they start causing infection. Detection of cancer. there are different ways through which we can find or we can detect the cancer. One is biopsy and histopathological study, in which tissue and the blood and bone marrow test for increased cell count can be taken. It will be called as leukemiasis. Then biopsy of the piece of the suspected tissue cut into the section is stained and examined under microscope. These histopathological studies by the pathologist will be suggesting that the person is having cancer or initiated with the cancer or not. Radiotherapy like X-ray, CT, computerized tomography used to detect cancer of the internal organs. So for detecting cancer of internal organ, this radiotherapy, that is X-ray and CT scan, is very important. Computed tomography uses X-ray to generate a three-dimensional image of internals of an object, through which we can get a clear idea of the cancer and location of the cancerous cell. MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, that is uses strong magnetic fields and non-ionizing radiations to accurately detect pathological and physiological changes in the living tissue. Next is antibodies against cancer specific antigen. The antibodies against the cancer specific antigen are used for detection of certain cancerous genes. Person is advised to prevent exposure, and so the cancer will be avoided. Treatment of cancer. There are treatments available for the cancer like surgery, radiotherapy and chemotherapy. In surgery, removal of the cancer cell using a surgery method, direct removal. Then radiotherapy is a destruction of the cancer cell using radiations, X-ray, gamma rays. Then chemotherapy, destruction of cancer cell using drugs. Anti-cancer agents will be used into the chemotherapy. Surgery, the tumor cells are surgically removed. So you can see in the picture next to it how the surgically the tumor cells will be removed. Next is radiotherapy. You can see the instrument which is providing the high frequency radiations. These radiations are responsible for treating the tumor. Tumor cells are irradiated lethally, taking proper care of the normal tissue without harming the normal tissue. This radiotherapy is responsible for causing harm to the tumor cells. Chemotherapy, killing cancer cell specific to particular tumor. Majority of drugs have side effects like hair loss, anemia. So chemicals will be injected into the body in chemotherapy. These chemicals will be, after going to the target region, will start dissolving the cells which are cancerous cell. But the side effect of chemotherapy is hair loss, anemia, because the chemicals are having high dose and which is sometimes difficult for the person to tolerate. Immunotherapy involves use of biological response modifier like alpha interferon, which activates immune system to detect the cancer cell and destroy them. So this alpha interferon will be helping our immune system to become active more and will be naturally detecting and treating the cancer cell. Most cancers are treated by combination of surgery, radiotherapy and chemotherapy, 3 of them. So in this video we have learned about AIDS, how it is causing, its causative agent. There are different ways through which it is spread out, what kind of precautions we can take so that we can avoid the infection of the AIDS and HIV. Then we have also learned about cancer, the type of cancer and the way of transmission of cancer into the body, infection of the cancer, how it is happening, then what kind of treatment is available on the cancer. So this is all for today. In next video we will learn remaining concept of the chapter. Thank you so much.